Hello, everybody. I am so thrilled to be here tonight to have a conversation with the one and only Timothée Chalamet. I've been seeing a lot of these Q&As that he's been doing, and he's gotten a lot of cool and interesting people that he's worked with from his past to come and talk with him. So I was very happy that I got the call, that he deemed me cool enough to have one of these talks with him tonight. Timmy and I, we've worked together a couple times now. We've known each other for a long time, like growing up in this industry. And I know that I'm not alone when I say that I feel that he is truly a once-in-a-lifetime talent that we don't get to see often. And I think, this year he definitely proved that with his career-defining performance as Marty Mauser. But it was very interesting in preparation for this tonight. I went back and I watched Beautiful Boy, and I realized, gosh, he's been turning in career-defining performances straight from the jump. And he's so inspiring to me. I'm so proud that I get to call him a dear friend. And I'm also a fan too. I'm like the rest of you. I'm waiting on bated breath to see his next performance. And so without further ado, it's very dark out there. He's probably behind the curtain. But I'd like to introduce my friend and the one and only Timothée Chalamet.
Thanks, Elle.
Yes.
That's so sweet. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Hey, man, I appreciate it. You tried to get it going. People didn't really follow your lead, but I saw that, man. I'm forever indebted to you.
Hey. Hello.
Thanks, Elle.
You're welcome.
And just a big thank you to Elle for doing this and for helping me re-examine this movie, because this is like one of the movies I'm most proud of. And, I'm sure it was a heavy watch just now. Hopefully, if it worked. And thanks everyone for being here. I've never been in this theater. What a beauty. You said you come here growing up. This is a beautiful theater.
I haven't been here in a while, but I really love it here, especially the theater next door. It's smaller and intimate.
Than this.
Yeah, a little
cool.
smaller. It's cute.
No shade to this theater, but yeah.
No, this is a great one. This is the main event here.
Yeah.
Gosh, well, I guess we jump right in, right, to talk about Beautiful Boy.
Let's do it.
It's such a specific and such an honest portrayal of addiction, I think. And I was curious, I guess we'll start from the beginning because I wasn't sure when you actually filmed this. Was it after or before Call Me By Your Name? Did you have to audition for this?
Yeah, this was, that was 4 or 5 months after Call Me By Your Name, because I think I auditioned for this in December or January of that year, whatever following the summer of Call Me By Your Name was. So, and I was just, I'm sure you've read those roles too. You're hot after, and you're like, man, I'm dying to do this. And that was exactly it. I was, there was I forget what the scene was, but in the audition I had to explode. And one of the scenes between Nick and David and the casting director kind of told me to dial it down, and that was never going to be that big. And that's the scene the director told me he responded to in the audition, was that take. And but yeah, it was long story short, it was whatever that was, 2016 or 2017. Yeah.
And do you get nervous for auditions and stuff?
Yeah, absolutely, and especially the ones where you are dying to have it. Yeah. This was definitely one of them. I had Beautiful Boy, which the film's named after, but also Tweak, which was Nick Sheff's book, which chronicles the same period. And I was watching this again today too, and I'm just so proud of it. I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but just the entire cast and the director, Felix Van Groeningen, and I think it's a movie that's only grown, hopefully, in the years it's been out.
Yeah, I think so. And the cast, it's like Amy Ryan and Maura Tierney and Steve Carell. I mean, when Maura Tierney is in the car.
Have you worked with her on something?
I have not.
Oh, you haven't?
But
Okay.
She's one of my
she's
absolute
amazing.
favorites. And when she's following you, chasing you in the car, and she starts tearing up, that's when I really fully broke.
Oh,
it
yeah.
really got me. But also, I guess what really connected you when you read the script? Was it oh, this is a meaty role, or did you have a connection to addiction in your life, or saw it around you, or what did you think? Oh, this could be my basketball diaries, or subconsciously,
No, I love that movie. That was a big reference point for this movie, and it's all the above, you know, in the crassest sense, the media role, but also there were, you know, people in my life that went through similar stories, and this is really a movie I'll get, you know, people, if I come across or will stop me, and this is one that's always said with like reverence for the material. If someone brings it up to me in the street, it's never like, hey, I love Beautiful Boy. It's always like, hey, I saw that movie, thank you. Not that I get it all the time, but it's, hey, my family went through a similarly fucked up thing, or so, and I'm not going to give a, you know, a PSA right now on addiction and drug use, but whether it's Skid Row, which is 20, 30 minutes from here, or this is stuff that still affects people deeply. And, you know, I feel like a knock on the movie when it came out a little bit was like the kind of nice class, non-lower class setting, let's say, that you see the family in, and I was receptive to that when the movie came out. I definitely understood the grievance in that, you know, these issues are challenging across the board. They're more so challenging when you don't have access to resources or any sort of financial backbone. But in watching it again today, I thought, oh, that's, to me, it helped resonate the message of the movie a little bit more even, which is to say, yeah, this is an issue, especially in the United States, that knows no boundary. You know, it affects everyone, top to bottom, and it's a fucked up thing. It's a fucked up thing to go through when you're young. When you're young, you're shopping for your personality, you're trying things on, you know, and if you're dealing with addiction, all of a sudden you get this thing that's like, actually, you can't be gray about this, you can't be nuanced about this, all the things you would want to be a little more forgiving about in growing up. All of a sudden you have a black and white issue that you cannot go near. And it's something I don't know about you, but I feel like in the U.S. we struggle with more, but I feel like kids here, we just get young people just get addicted here, like in a way that in Europe, obviously this is like very pejorative. Obviously in Europe there are addiction issues as well, but I always look at like drinking culture in France or England or something, and how they handle it, at least on a perception level, cultural level, better. Anyway, I didn't want to get into that. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
But was Nick on set? Nick and David on set? Did you talk to him a lot?
Nick came to set once, yeah.
Okay. Like in preparing, did you talk to him or talk to did you go to meetings? Like what was the,
yeah, absolutely, and all sorts of meetings, you know, NA meetings, AA meetings, MA meetings, and a lot of talks with David and Nick, but you know, kind of like the Dylan movie we did together. All of a sudden, you know, then it's like you're doing a representation on
Bob
screen.
was not on set.
No, exactly. No.
Nowhere to be
no,
found.
Exactly.
Hasn't seen the movie. We don't
probably,
think.
probably hasn't even seen it. Yeah, literally. So exactly.
Yeah, exactly. And it's also what struck me, and I guess you know, editing plays like such a huge part. But was the script kind of Beautiful Boy? Was it structured in this way that it was kind of jumping around in time? And like, so how did? Obviously, we shoot, you know, out of chronological order all the time in films, but this is like a specific, you know, at his point in his addiction, was it hard? How did you track those moments so you knew where you were?
Yeah, I think at the time I had very sectioned out, you know, in a journal or something where we were in the script, but I was watching the movie again today too. It's really untraditional in its shape.
Yeah.
And I think Felix, the director, he kind of had a European take in that regard. You know, American film will follow a very traditional Act 1, Act 2, Act 3 structure. And I think he was sort of rogue in that regard. So I definitely had it sectioned out, but that was, I think, the biggest swing Felix took with the material, because certainly Beautiful Boy nor Tweak have that structure. You know, I think it was really Felix's imperative.
And it seems like you also have, this is so funny doing this video.
You're so good. You're so good at this, because I did this with Nolan the other day, and I couldn't, he would
like,
finish an answer, and I'd be staring at him. I go, oh, shit, you know, I got to get to the next thing.
Well, now I kind of want to talk a little general of like, and I'm supposed to be looking at someone, they're going to give me a 5 or something, tell me when to wrap it up. But your sense, your sense of story and like picking projects. I mean, obviously you audition for this, but you have to pick what you want to go after hard, and is so good. And now you're producing, and you're nominated as a producer this year for Academy Award. For Marty Supreme as well, which is a really huge deal. And I saw kind of that in motion on A Complete Unknown. I mean, I loved kind of watching you have the producer hat on a bit. You felt like in charge in a way. But that's also comes with picking projects, and like your track record on choosing roles and things is pretty golden. Like I was looking at your IMDb and I'm like, that movie's great. That movie's great. That's really great. Like, and that's really hard to do. I mean, I definitely have doozies. You know, I think I have actually, like on Rotten Tomatoes, I have the worst score, Nutcracker in 3D. I was 9, so it's not my fault.
Shit, I gotta see
like
that.
It's like negative 0%.
No, really?
But you do not have that.
No, I mean, well, I wasn't working at 9, but Nutcracker in 3D, man, I gotta go check that out.
Yeah,
What thing is it on? Paramount or Hulu? Or,
oh God, no. We don't know nothing. We don't know what it's not on anything.
You don't want to plug that.
Yeah.
You want to plug Sentimental Value, which you were just nominated for an Academy Award for, right? Yeah, there you go. Right.
But I guess in a roundabout way, I guess I'm saying, how do you pick your projects? Like I know kind of what I do, and it's very instinctual. But is it like has it changed over the years? How you've picked them? Did it used to be more like character, story? Now it's more directors or actors you want to work with? Like,
no, I think it's all directors. The honest to God truth, though, is I feel like I haven't picked a project in like 4 years or something because Marty Supreme is something I was working on with Josh forever. A Complete Unknown I was working on forever. A Dune sequel is, you know, is the journey something that started in 2018, 2019.
Yeah.
So, no, I mean. But whatever directors. The next, really directors. Yeah, just great directors. That's it. Yeah.
And where like does your drive come from? Because I know you're not an athlete. We know that, I think, right? And you're not.
Elle with the heavy hitters, man.
Well, you played basketball, but you weren't like
pitifully.
A sportsman.
No. Well, I wanted to be a sportsman. I've never heard that, a sportsman.
Yeah, I'm a sportsman. But I really I respect your discipline and your drive because in this industry, it's not something that people speak a lot about. And I come from like a family of athletes, and I've always kind of viewed my work as something that is athletic. In a sense, like that discipline, like I think there's a big correlation between acting and athletes. I don't know that athleticism, whatever, that makes sense. But I just was curious if you always had that when you were young, or did it come from your parents, or is that something that like woke up in you later?
No, I think I've always had that. I wanted to be an athlete growing up, so I consumed all the Nike commercials and everything, but it just didn't materialize. So the dream they sold me was false. Yeah. But then no, I don't know. I think Marty kind of working on that. I was like, oh wow, these things can really fuse, and also, you know, just people have a competitive edge in what we do. It's rare to find someone that. You know, doesn't, I guess. I mean, you do come across them, but I just think it's, I don't know. I don't have a good answer for that. I mean, I feel like it's helped me stay driven, and I'm just talking about self-discipline and stuff. And also, as you well know more than me, because you've been doing it since you were doing Nutcracker when you were 9 years old, that like these things take a lot of time and energy. And you can get dragged through a film, or you can kind of be imperative through it. And it's really satisfying when you can be sort of like a lightning bolt, because you come out the other side exhausted and fried, but at least you feel like you did something.
Yeah. And do you feel like you get nervous? Because I feel like I need to get nervous, like I need to feel kind of terrified and challenged before a project, and then I know that I'm like in the right place. And I remember on A Complete Unknown, on our first day, or my first day of working, I went into your trailer and I was like Timothy, like I'm really nervous because I haven't been on a film set in a long time, because I had done a TV show, and I played like the same character for 3 years, and it was my first time playing like a new character and being on a movie set, and I was like, I'm nervous. And then you looked at me and you're like, how do you think I feel? I have to play Bob Dylan. And I'm like, oh, right. And I'm like, oh God, sorry. But you didn't seem nervous to me at all. But is like nerves a secret ingredient for you?
Absolutely, especially on that more than anything.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I feel like the first week of anything is always very nerve-wracking, but then I settle in. Yeah. I loved on A Complete Unknown, you know, with you and Monica and Edward, we all took it so seriously. I did a Q&A with Edward the other night, and we were just saying, doing a music biopic, it's hard to keep it fresh, because you can feel, I said ever since they made that movie Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox story. It's hard to do like music biopics that feel really fresh. And speaking to your nerves or my nerves, I feel like we took it really seriously. We weren't coasting at all. But yeah, it's definitely get nervous. Yeah.
And I guess now we're going back to Beautiful Boy. I'm really bad at this.
No, this is amazing. But I'm so impressed.
Is there anything like looking back on Beautiful Boy that you were most proud of, like a moment or a scene, or do you remember a time on set that you felt like you've never felt that before? Or
I'm proud of coming through the other side of it and how heavy it was. And I think you're like this too, but I look at like working on these movies as sacred and a day on set as sacred, because anything otherwise would be like the weirdest business to be in if you were just treating it colloquially or whatever the right word is. And now I have a certain support system or a comfort zone or whatever. If I work on Dune 3 or whatever, I know the director, I'm old, I just turned 30, I'm older, let's say. But it's something like this, I finished this. I remember finishing this, and they had a taco truck when we wrapped, and like all the crew gathered, and I had a taco, and then I walked off into L.A. It was like the strangest. I went through this.
Did you shoot in L.A.?
Yeah, we shot this all in L.A.
Cool.
Yeah, but I guess what I'm trying to say in a very say it again.
Doesn't happen
it doesn't
a lot.
happen at all.
No.
In a very ungraceful ways. I'm just so proud, whether it's this or Call Me by Your Name, which we're showing tomorrow night, that I feel like to do these things without a real support system in place or financial stability, that I'm really proud of, because now I can go, like I said, there's like vested interest in my career or something, but then it was like nothing. So, and this was heavy, super heavy material, and so anyway, so yeah.
Does it feel like a turning? Did this film, or maybe looking back on it now, does it feel like it was a turning point for you, or more like just a meaningful like chapter among many?
No, absolutely. No, it felt like a turning point. I feel like I remember having a moment on this. It was the scene in the diner with Carell.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that scene too.
But going back in the van or whatever with the rest of the cast and thinking, I'd done Call Me by Your Name the prior summer, and I had a sort of restlessness. I thought, wow, I feel like I'm doing good work, and I wonder if my career's ever going to take off. And I remember that following summer being with a friend in the East Village in New York, and in a way less graceful way than I'll say now, I just said to him, something to that extent. I said, I can't wait for my career to get going. I said it in a way more vulgar way, but I don't want to say it here. But the sentiment was grosser than how I'm expressing it. But I was just I was so restless.
I'm big time.
No. I was wanting that. You know what I mean? And so this definitely felt like that. But also I felt, like I said, a restlessness, because I was like, Call Me by Your Name hadn't come out yet, and then I was doing this, and I thought, man, I feel like I just hope these things work. That's how I felt,
And do you feel the diner scene? I was going to ask, was there a lot of like ad-libbing in this?
Yeah, I was watching it back today, and I didn't remember it being so ad-libby, but I did remember.
But it kind of had to be, because if you're in the moment, see, ad-libbing really, I don't like it. I don't know. I mean. If I feel like if I'm in it, or especially if it's like an emotional moment or a scene, I want to feel free to do whatever, but I do kind of like to have the words, and then, I don't know, I need the structure of that. If someone's like, oh yeah, and just, you go and just say what you want, it's like, oh, that scares me a bit.
Yeah.
But you're good at, because you did a lot of that in A Complete Unknown, I felt.
But this felt like it needed that naturalism, and it's hard to do a movie about addiction stuff without it falling into tropes of histrionics, and so I think some of that helped me along. But I was surprised watching it today too. I was like, wow, there's a lot of naturalism and ad-libbing.
Yeah, really good. I want to also ask you, this is like not being shown for your retrospective, but I don't know if it's maybe not gone viral again, but I like see on the internet like the Miss Stevenson Death of a Salesman monologue. Okay, that's like the best thing ever.
Yeah, thank you.
What is up with that? Like, I mean, I know people see, but now people realize, oh, that's Timothée Chalamet. Maybe they didn't know you like that when that movie came out, but that's like one take, epic, unbelievable.
That scene in that movie made me want to do the movie. Also because
Yeah.
I saw Andrew Garfield and Philip Seymour Hoffman do Death of a Salesman on Broadway, and I was always like very moved by that scene. And we were supposed to do this last year, and then there were fires. There were the fires, but that was on the thing last year. So I love that movie, and
Was that an audition scene?
Yeah, that was.
Oh, God,
and
they
weirdly,
always do that
yeah,
to you.
that was.
Why? It's like the hardest
It's
scene. It's like, here you go. You're like.
But that I was dying to do because I was doing a movie called Love the Coopers in Pittsburgh, which respectfully I wasn't super stoked on being in. Hopefully it's not disrespectful or anything.
Coopers?
But like, you know, maybe I shouldn't have said that. But
No,
you know,
we love the Coopers.
but it was while I was working on that. So Miss Stevens, the script to that, and also I felt like it was my life story in that. Drama and acting has saved a young man's life or something, and I absolutely loved working on that, and but that was another one where I felt like I was restless after because I felt like no one saw that when it came out, but now it's become a little bit of a gem.
It has, because then that clip has been like circulating again because it's so good.
I love that movie.
Yeah.
Lily Rabe is extraordinary.
Yeah. Oh, let's see. They've given me a 5 here.
I
I also wanted to say, I wanted to ask you, because I didn't say it to you at the luncheon. We were at the nominees luncheon the other day, and that's when we last saw each other. And and Josh was there, and we were talking, and he said that those class photos of the Oscars nominees class photos from the 1950s were inspiration for the Marty Supreme group photo with the paddle.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, why didn't you bring the paddle to
That
the
would
photo?
have been amazing.
If you need any PR ideas,
I
call me.
call you next. No, I didn't even realize. No,
That
but also I don't know if
I
that's
know.
true. I wonder if Josh was just saying that. But
He said they were.
yeah, he said they were that genuinely inspired that.
Yeah.
But you see the Guillermo with the
The
Shining thing? That was awesome.
That was really
was
good.
hilarious.
Someone just told me that tonight. I didn't put it together.
I didn't realize it in the moment either.
Yeah. That was really good. Gosh, well, I feel like I've really asked you everything that's on my list. I'm like, is there anything else you want me to ask?
No, thank you so much for doing this.
I know. Well, this is such
and
an
also,
amazing
Elle was probably my
performance.
favorite movie this year, Sentimental Value. And this is not a reverse plug. I absolutely love that movie. She's fantastic in it. And Joaquin's an amazing director. Stupidly, I hadn't seen Worst Person in the World, and then I went back and I watched it. It's amazing. And I feel like you should have gotten a nomination for A Complete Unknown, but at least you got it for
Oh, no. Well,
Sentimental Value.
I'll be watching and cheering when you get the Oscar. I'll vote for you. Yes. How old were you when you did this beautiful
I was
boy?
21.
21. Okay,
Yep.
I was curious. So yeah, your parents weren't on set or anything.
No.
Yeah,
no.
well, I don't know, because you were a
No,
child.
no,
Did your
okay.
parents come with you on set?
Yes,
like
but
that?
it
And you
drove
did
me
school
so
on set
nuts.
and
Yeah,
everything?
it drove me insane because my
Yeah.
mom worked for Actors Equity in
we
New
have
York.
that in common.
Yeah, but my mom would be insane with producers because she was so intense about the child labor laws, which was good. But it was also like, I'm trying to get in good with these people. So, I'd be a minute overtime and she'd pull me off set. In fact, on Interstellar, I was 17 and I found a loophole in in the working agreement that if you had a high school diploma but you were under 18, you could go work alone. And when I was with Nolan the other night, he brought it up and he said, when you wanted to come alone, it was a big red flag to our production. Because we thought, like, wow, this is like this 17-year-old kid that wants to come alone. But who knew that was jeopardizing my opportunity to be in that movie? But I couldn't stand having a parent on set. It would drive me nuts.
Yeah.
My poor mother.
Yeah, pulling you. All right, you're done. Yeah.
No, I did this TV show, Royal Pains, and the first time she was like helicopter parenting me on set, and then the second time she came to set with me, I made her sit in like an attic or something.
Oh my God.
Not like an attic, but like a separate room in the house. Like you can't be near me.
Oh no! And now she can celebrate with you.
Now she can celebrate.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's all good.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Well-
on that note. All right.
On the note of- yes,
Hey,
well,
thank you, Elle, so much. Big thank
thanks
you.
for
Big
asking
thank
me.
you.
And
Yeah.
I got a jacket.
Oh yeah, exactly. That was the extortion. That was
Yes!
the extortion. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thanks for checking that out.
Thank you.
See you guys. Thank you so much.